On today's video, we're going to look at how you can configure the candidate screen so it shows the columns that you need to see within that particular screen. From the dashboard, we simply click on our candidate number so we can access the candidate screen. We can see our candidate processing screen that we're all familiar with. The first thing we're going to look at is how you can filter some of the results within this screen. So you can see on these columns, you've got a little filter icon. Simply click on the filter icon, and for this one, we're going to choose the green flags against each of these candidates. So when we click on submit, we can see each of those candidates has a green flag against them. If we want to return so it shows all of the candidates within this view, we simply untick the green, click on submit, and it will show us all of the candidates within that view. The next thing you can do within the candidate grid is you can actually resize these particular columns. Very easy to do. You can simply come along and choose the actual border of the column and drag that across so it actually shows all of the information that you want to see within that particular column. If you want to remove it, you simply come back, drag it back so it fits into the information that's in there. The next thing we can do is we can move the columns around. So you only need to do this once. It'll actually save for the next time you log into Springboard, but essentially if you want to move the application source, we can just left click on that and move it to the left hand side. So that now sits between the candidate name and the date created. If we want to move it back, we simply left click and pull it back to here, and you can see that's now returned to its original position where it was next to the interview details. The next thing that we're going to look at doing is configuring the actual columns that we want to see in here. So we can just click on our little settings button up here, and if for instance we no longer needed to see our application source, we'd simply come down and deselect the application source, and you can see that that has now disappeared from our grid. If we want to add that back in, we simply come back up into our settings, come down into our application details section and select application source, and we'll see that that has reappeared in our view again. The next thing we can do in here is we can click on our settings and actually auto fit all of the columns. So if you want to make sure that it's actually showing the information that is in each of those cells, you can simply come in and go auto fit all columns, and that will reposition all of the column width so it actually shows the correct information within your grid. That concludes our video on how to configure your grid. If you have any additional questions on this, please contact your Springboard account manager.